you through this game, and it's not often we get to say this, Andy, but not only is there qualification at stake here, but also elimination from Orlando. You lose here, you're out of the tournament.
That's it. A lot riding here, of course. Teams do not want to go home on Saturday night, right? You book a 3-day trip for a reason here at HCS Orlando, and to go home on Saturday night, it's tough. Neither of these teams planned on doing so, and you especially might say Acend, not a team that expected to go out Saturday night. They will find themselves up against Team WaR here in elimination round 3 for Worlds qualification as well.
Yeah, not only that, you've also got to see what Team WaR just did to the other powerhouse from Europe, right? Quadrant. They get taken down in that game 5. Now it's up to Acend to kind of restore the pride of the region a little bit and see if they can take down Team WaR. But Team WaR are going to be feeling good after that win against Quadrant. A massive result for them. Just a reminder to put it in context how big a win that was. When we were in Valencia at the EU Regional, the grand final, that first series went all the way to a game 7 between Acend and Quadrant, and Team WaR just took Quadrant out.
That's right, Acend was certainly expecting to play Quadrant here for top 12. Instead, they find themselves against the North American side. This is officially North America versus Europe for Worlds qualification.
So this is what these players have been playing for all year long. One more step towards Worlds for both of these teams, and you're looking at some of the stats that Snipedrone's been putting up this event, just some standout statistics from one of the best players in Europe.
Absolutely there, 1.55. CTF and KD, huge numbers from him, and you heard the desk predicting 3-0 here for Acend for the Worlds qualification match, and of course to stay alive in losers round 3. However, on the other side, Tony, Envor, Hysteria, and Rami been across several different teams this season. Now they would love to upset Acend and steal that world spot.
I mean, look at the damage that Snipedrone's doing now. He's almost 2v1ing these two players. Great shots, picks up one, but still has to wait for that help to come in. Team WaR at the moment just kind of turtled up inside of the base. That's allowing the damage and now the flood to come in.
That's 2 dead. Let's see if Acend can continue the push right now. This will result in a flag pull, it looks like. Nice shots continuing from Snipedrone. Look at another one. That's 3 dead. Hysteria, last player alive. Flag going to be ran straight at him.
So you had the information as well. He's involved with that battle with Hysteria now. Snipedrone knows he has to deal with him. A couple of good shots coming in. He's looking for the trade. There are pulses there, but Hysteria wins that battle. A little bit of a look away there from Snipedrone. I think he was a little bit disappointed in that.
Hold the phone. You might have seen Best Man's tweet. He said, "09 Hysteria's back." And guess what? Hysteria single-handedly winning that battle as the last player alive, and the flag will go back home. So not so soon, says Team WaR for Acend. Both flags will now be back at the base.
Looks like Team WaR are just trying to hold mid-map at the moment for that overshield, which is coming up in just a few moments' time. Big win from Respectful a few moments ago as we jump on board with the young man from the north of England. As you can see, he's trying to fight out of his base at the moment. He knows that there's players on this Ivy side of the map. He knows that overshield is coming up as well, but great opening damage from Snipedrone. As that power-up looks like it might be picked up by the man we just mentioned.
Gonna snag it, he grappled it. Looks like he was gonna go bridge, but instead just dropped. Oh, no. A little bit too much windmilling there is gonna cost him. That overshield will be burned.
Maybe he's seeing a little bit of nerves coming in here from Acend as well, because Snipedrone usually one of the most consistent and steady shots that you'll see not just in Europe, but also across the globe. Very well respected in those 1v1s by some of the best players. This time, a couple of wavy shots, maybe just expected to get that kill a little bit quicker than he did. But for now, Acend inside of this base, Envor being a pain, but Respectful deals with him. That's just the 1 kill. Now he's got to stay alive.
Both flags going to be pulled here. Flag standoff, 2 dead for Acend, 2 dead for Team WaR. It's a 2v2 with both flags away.
Love this from Rami as well. Knowing that he's cleared out his base, he takes the quickest A to B route to get in position to help his teammate Tony, who was furthest across the map. Now he's being so much pressure on. Rami picks up 1, turn it into 2. A killing spree for him. Snipedrone, you've been missing a few shots. And Rami is not missing.
Triple kill. Flags coming in here, and that will be a flag return as well. Rami's going to start the run.
Gets it all the way through the hallway as well. He's got this one down, Ivy side, a couple of grenades coming across, a little stutter step there, accidental, you have to say. And the shields are getting shredded. Respectful picked up 1, and you can also see the Legend is inside of the base. So even though Hysteria's taken Snipedrone down, Rami's got to do some more work here.
Very nice from Rami so far. He's going to fly this right at Tony. They should get this cap, 1 of the 2. Yes, Team WaR is the first team on the board. North America goes up 1-0.
North America looking strong once more. Team WaR showing that wasn't just a one-off performance against Quadrant. They really want to add another victim to their list of teams that come from this European region. Seeker at the moment on the hunt, but can't find any targets to play with.
Look at Snipedrone already. He's 11-6 in this game, yet his team already losing by 1 flag, and maybe if you see more of this through the series, Mark, could see Acend getting a little nervous. They did not expect to find themselves up against a team like this that's 3 dead. They're going to look to tie the game right here.
Legend running this flag as well. A little bit surprised to see the pace at which Acend have actually started this match off. There's almost a little bit of trepidation in the way that they're playing. A little bit kind of slower than we're used to seeing. Although this overshield might give them the opportunity to tie this game up now, but Snipe Drone knows he has to clear the way. He's got Rami in front of him, and Rami decimates that overshield once more.
Another double kill. Rami is full of multi-kills today. He's not done yet. Good damage there on the 3rd kill as well. That's 4 dead. Snipe Drone's your first spawner. This flag going to be run again here by Tony.
Yeah, something not just quite adding up here on this capture the flag game for Acend. You saw them get the overshield. They had 3 dead while they were running it. Just couldn't pick up the slays required to really give themselves the opportunity to convert that flag. And now you've got Envor inside of the base, a man who gets fired up himself. And one thing I love about this Team WaR lineup, right? They can get each other fired up. It doesn't take much to get Tony fired up, but when Envor gets fired up, he starts to fire some big shots.
Let's see if he can get over there and help out with this flag return. Be a grab here coming in for Rami. Rami will continue the run with 2 dead. On paper, this flag should go home as well.
Should do. No one there really apart from Snipe Drone to try and stop this. It's not going to happen, and Team WaR up by 2 now. And Acend, some questions to answer. They're looking a little bit ragged at the moment. Maybe a little bit of fatigue starting to come in. The other side of the stage, Team WaR are ready to play all day.
They certainly do, and they are thriving off of the energy, like you said. I mean, look at the names on your screen. Rami, Hysteria, Envor, Tony. These guys love to play fast-paced Halo, high-intensity Halo. Get in your face, get in your base, and they have put the flags on the board as well. They lead 2-0 with about 6 minutes left to play.
I always see these kind of teams come together, right? It's always the leftovers team. They kind of come together as if they've got something to prove. And of course, they do have something to prove to the rosters, which they no longer find themselves a part of, excuse me. And at the moment, they're showing that this chemistry seems to be exactly what they were looking for, the teammates they were looking for, because everyone's working so well together. A 2-2 split, but most importantly, 6 minutes on the clock, the overshield's back on the map.
Yeah, great work here from Team WaR so far. You might have seen Tony last game popping off after that quadrant win with a 2-0 lead and the overshield up. Here, let's go to Astro listening with Team WaR.
Zig behind you, right here. Okay, I'm done. Bottom sword. Alright, play in front of you, play back to you. Okay. There's one there, trying to lift. Okay. Play base. John, watch you, Jacob. I'm running. Yeah, one switching to us. Yo, I'm making a gut player. Yeah, one go third. Jacob, I your help now. What's bottom on you? Watch your top screw when I leave. The base of me, guys.
I got help on their base.
Lower bottom. Bottom flank. One shot. Where?
2 more here, I got 1.
Nice.
That's the last one, right?
Escape.
Yes, at our base, last one at our base.
Okay.
Flag take.
Split map.
I hear him grapple.
They didn't get it out of our base yet.
Watch it cross.
Hiding our flag, maybe?
Yeah, back left. Shit on!
Right.
What's up here? Another one.
We're getting green. Run it in.
Shoot him, flying.
Got it.
One in.
Our left hallway.
I got shots. I'm moving.
I got naded. You were last one.
3 Envor last one. Yeah. Live there. Is he pushing me? Do you know?
No.
You're good. He's a fucking pussy.
Bottom. Dead. Our right hallway.
Wait. He dropped. I'm pushing low. I'm pushing low.
Our left, 2 of them. Snipe Drone, 1 hit. Shit on them.
I'm moving here. One more. Top sword. Take a half. Yeah. Go through. Yo, Jacob, hear me?
I'm just waiting.
Top sword in there. Door. Pushing through, Tony. I'm looking door. Door, one shot. Bottom goal to you. Yeah, fuck behind me. And this guy pushing base.
I killed door.
One more.
Our flag, 2 of them. Our back flag, 1 hit.
Well, you can hear the intensity without a doubt coming in from Team WaR. They're 3-0 up now, and I tell you what, usually the term is used in England, excuse my French, when some colourful language gets used, and it's almost fitting there's 2 French players involved in this lobby.
Yeah, some very choice words coming in from the Team WaR side, and to be honest, they're just hyping themselves up. And you know, sometimes we say Tony is 2 turned. This game, he's definitely just 2 turned, but yeah, in a very good way. So far, they're up 3-0.
Tony's on the hunt for more at the moment. Snipe Drone trying to escape, a little bit of overshield to work with, but that's been stripped away. Just trying to bide the time for his teammates to come and help, but a couple of bank nades are going to keep Seeker off of his case. Legend's going to be there, and finally, it looks like Acend have got a chance to put a flag in here. Rami and Envor on that overextension, but again, it seems like at the moment the Team WaR players are just getting the better in these 1v1s, but Acend should be able to run this one home. They do. With 3 minutes 20 left on the clock, they have 2 more flags to get home.
They will get that flag in. Like you said, not a lot of time left, though, and I think a lot of the intensity in that listening is once again due to the fact that this is a world qualification match. This really is go big or go home here, and maybe never been a truer sense of the word in the whole season, as you need to clutch up here to advance not only to tomorrow, but secure a spot at the Halo World Championship in just 3 weeks.
A little bit more aggression being shown here by Acend. However, the trades are coming in for Team WaR. They hold the line perfectly, and now Seeker just has to survive. Skewer back on the map as well. We've seen Rami really control that weapon extremely well. It's very difficult for Acend to hit some of these narrow hallways because Rami's just been hitting shots.
Great stuff out of Rami the whole day. Finally, they'll get taken down, getting punished on the 3rd zip. But now on board here with Hysteria, also been playing fantastic all day today on this run.
2 minutes 30, the clock's certainly going to be starting to become an issue for Acend in this series. Team WaR will be more than aware of this as well. They'll just want to hold things down. Don't have to overextend. Don't have to do anything too risky. Seeker, though, he's got a big job to do. And Rami's going to do it better. He'll get that flag return. He sends it home, and now you can see on board, he's got the flag in his hands.
Nice job there from both Hysteria and Rami to get the damage and also clean up those kills. Be able to pick up another one here. Look at Rami avoiding the melee damage as well. Very nice technical work with the repulsor.
The flag is still away as well. Tony just picked up 2. That's 3 dead, make it 4 dead. Acend all in the death screen. The flag already crossing the halfway mark here on Catalyst, and Tony's gonna run this one home. Unless someone makes a hero play, it's now 4-1 to Team WaR, and Rami's got OS.
And Rami's also gonna pop that overshow late as well, and this might just be a victory lap here for Team WaR in the final 90 seconds of the match.
With World's qualification on the line, it looks like one team is more focused on this than the other. It looks like they've got a little bit more fire than the other, and Acend really not having any answers to the questions that are being posed by Team WaR at the moment. Rami with another fantastic run, gets that one 2/3 of the way back home. Seeker inside of the base, trying to be a hero once more, but Hysteria just snapping onto heads at the moment. He finds one Frenchman, he's trying to seek out another.
Oh, he's back clean up here. He's gonna pick up another one, get some help. 3 dead for Acend again.
60 seconds left on the clock. Not only is there not enough time here for Acend to get back into this game, there's not even enough time for them to hit that overextension. It's going to be 5-1, and Team WaR are up by 1.
What a game 1 for this squad. As we said, this was not the team that was expected to be here. Everyone expected Quadrant to come through, make this an EU versus EU battle for the world spot. Instead, it's Team WaR, a team of North American powerhouses from different rosters who have come together. And you can tell why they're on such a tear today. That's a big 5-1 win in game number 1.
Sometimes momentum is all you need, right?
Yeah.
You go on one of those elimination bracket runs, you start finding yourself, finding a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of belief. A big game 5 win against a team which a lot of people were saying are gonna win that series pretty comfortably. This is Team WaR, they're here to play.
They really are. Rami, 25-14.
Wow.
In that game. The man is a turret. Of course, making a name for himself many years ago in free-for-all, and shows that he can still lay down the shots, do the damage in a big, big way here in 4v4. Speaking of, let's take a look at the damage.
Let's take a look at that damage as well, and surely Rami is going to be right up there at the top of those leaderboards too when we get the opportunity to flick across and have a look at that. And indeed, look at Rami, the standout performer. Without a doubt in that game number 1, 6.9k damage. I'm looking across here, and I think the next closest to him was Envor and Tony by 5.7.
Yeah, I mean, big numbers, as we said, out of Rami, and it's performances like that that are going to power your team to a 5-1 victory. Let's go ahead and take a look at some highlights from that first game.
I mean, it was an interesting game for sure. It just seemed like Team WaR just had better strategy, straight up. Every single time that they got a 3 or 4 dead, it was usually converted into a flag cap for them, and they just did a great job of cutting the map in half, and it's very easy to do when you've got a skewer in the hands of someone like Rami who's just locking down those hallways.
Also, one thing to notice, look at all the Team WaR caps. There's really no goal line stands. When they brought the flag home, they had great control across the entire map. It felt like every cap was comfortable, every cap was calculated. You could tell these guys are hyped up, but they're not popping out of their seats just yet. They got a lot more work to do. Game number 1 is in the books, 5-1. Catalyst CTF will go to Team WaR.
You could say this is probably the most important game of Acend's tournament so far. Slayer Street is where we find ourselves going, and Acend, if they go 2 down in this series, it looks like a long road for guaranteed Worlds qualification, let alone getting inside of the next round, let alone trying to look at what a lot of people were saying, maybe a best European performance. It seems like for Acend, this is a pivotal game, not just in this series, but potentially in this tournament as a whole.
Absolutely. I mean, you bring up a great point, right? Acend is not only favored to secure top 12 in Worlds, a lot of people talking about how they should place top 6 or higher here, but they've got their work cut out for them in this series, starting things off here with Rami, your standout performer in the last game. He's taken down right away, though.
Usually we kind of sit back and see what happens in the opening strategy, right? But this game here, you can see how important it is. We can talk right through it. It's going to be actually Acend who get that first rocket in their hands. They get the majority of the kills as well. And most importantly, they get the space on the map. So Acend at least just quelling the fires ever so slightly of Team WaR. If Team WaR get out to a hot start there, the way they're playing and how hype they're getting, it wouldn't surprise me to see them run away with it.
See what Legend could do here. The Stalker Rifle, a lot of pressure coming in from the B Arcade and the Pillars. And Tony just being an absolute nuisance. They're a very difficult kill, but Legend is up to the task.
Yeah, Legend has been so impressive so far. We saw him against Optic Gaming. I think it was the Live Fire game that we saw him hit 3 perfects in a row to start that game off. But on WaR, I mean, look at his Slayer KD. That is extremely impressive so far.
That is absurd. Those are numbers you shouldn't even see, and it's for good reason that this team has been on such a run here with a KD like that in Slayer. See what WaR can do. They're down by a few kills here, though, early on.
Just the 3, though, and as we know, it's very easy to turn things around here.
Especially on streets, yeah.
Yeah, especially on streets. You see a lot of teams start to slow the game down and base their next move around when that rocket launcher's coming up, maybe when that stalker's coming up, Bulldog. All about controlling those weapons, but Team WaR at the moment, they're just trying to control space. They're pushing, they're being aggressive, and I like this strategy, to be honest. Keep the pressure on Acend.
Ooh, very good baiting and switching coming in from Legend, and respectful. So far, it's a different looking Acend roster in this game number 2 as they lead 14-9. Let's get into an Astro listening here with Acend.
Okay, one shot, Remy. I got him.
Okay, here, stairs.
Guy pushing you.
He's tires still.
King plants.
Rocket's 10.
Let's watch it.
Got the nade plants. Nice. Yeah, as well.
Rocket's 5.
They're in C.
I'm
Might need help here, boys.
C-cells, watch out C-cells, guys. Watch out C-cells.
Nice, Rocket's up.
I got the rocket.
Top C,
I died with the
Hold the witch. Back C, watch out.
Rocket launcher, guys. Rocket launcher.
Back commander weak.
Rocket launcher.
Yeah, I hear that. Back commander, one shot.
Can you help me with commander?
Rami was commando again, guys.
I'm gonna push it. Stay alive.
Okay, even, guys. Watch it, even. Watch it, push it. Watch it, push it. You guys one shot plant.
Nice, guys.
Nice.
Man, I'm getting pressure.
I think this may be PD.
Maybe gonna spawn C.
Maybe PD.
Let's push forward if someone is one here.
Yeah, PD.
Hello, mate.
PD.
Nice.
Boys, I'm weak. Bait me.
They're needing you, bro. Just hide here.
Going in PD.
I'm going cafe with these rockets. We're good. I'm just gonna watch purple.
They are alive now. You have the advantage.
Pillars, one shot there.
Nice.
Arcade.
I'm one shot PD.
One guy's drive,
I'm playing my life.
Tell me don't me cash.
Nice. There's a guy in B in driver.
They don't give any open kill.
I got one rocket. Back.
Okay, pillars in the... Pillars weak, guys.
PG. Be careful, PG.
Pushing PD, so you can stay alive.
But what a difference a game can make, right?
Yeah,
Look
wow.
at the score here. Acend back in charge. 28-10. Team WaR have just been pinned against the wall here.
Let me remind you, this game was 10-7 when we started that listening or so. Maybe a few more kills on the board, but regardless, this has been an unbelievable swing. Let's look at the numbers. Snipe drone on your screen is 13-2 here, and they're well past the midpoint of the game.
Snipe drone is taking over. Rami's going to be challenging him. Snipe drone finally has his bit of momentum stopped, but like we mentioned earlier, Streets is a map where even though you are seeing these kind of margins, you can see them overturned, and now you're seeing Team WaR start to pick away a little bit. It's important here for Acend to make sure they get those trades.
Absolutely, you have to wonder if Team WaR let this get a little bit out of hand too much. Still double the score their opponents have here, 30-15. They're gonna try to claw their way back in here, but it will not be easy. Great coordination during that listening from the side of Acend.
5 seconds till rockets come up as well. So if Team WaR want to get back in this game, the kills that fall here are vital. 3 of them do fall into Team WaR's hands. That means they can get these rockets. And even though it looks like quite a difference in this lead, a couple of kills here with the rockets, the game can change. But again, Acend managed to bait one of those out, and Legend picks up a kill too.
2 dead actually here. Tony's gonna have to turn up for sure. Doesn't pick up the first one. Should connect. He does with a grenade, but you know that the entire side, of Team WaR would have wanted more out of that situation. It's 36-21. Acend looking good here on the home stretch in game number 2 as well.
37 now. Snipe drone has 15 of those. He is just putting himself in so many good positions to capitalize on the damage that is being done by his teammates. Quite fine on ball though. This time he snaps onto him and gets the trade, and trades at this point for Acend are just taking them closer and closer to that finish line.
I was going to say the same thing. Acend loves trades. Right now, maybe more than ever, they love trades. It's 40-23, an absurd lead. At this point, they're almost just playing for the steak dinner on top of the game win. Only 10 or more kills to go.
Theory has no idea that Respectful's decided to turn around here. He's going to be a microwave as he picks up that kill. Legend picks up 2 as well. That's 4 dead here for Team WaR with 6 kills to go. Acend completely and utterly dominating this game number 2. They are reminding Team WaR that this is not going to be an easy series.
Yeah, this is a dismantling there. Respectful cannot connect out of tires with the Sentinel beam. They'll have to reset just a bit here, 44-25. It feels like no matter what Team WaR might throw at Acend here in these final moments, it's a matter of time before they close this one out.
Snipe Drone adds his 17th kill. The man is positive 10. In what I described as one of Ascend's most important games of this year. If you need a player to stay calm and composed and put stats up like that, you're looking at Snipe Drone and you're thinking, that's the perfect way to go about it.
Nice work here as well. Just
18.
Works his way around the corner against Hysteria. 48-29, 2 kills to go now.
Onboard gonna dare to challenge. Well, at this point, Ramby's gonna challenge as well. Great shots again, stays alive, rockets popping up, and I think the Respectful's gonna make a move on them here. Ramby's gonna be bottom middle. Snipe Drone's gonna for him as well. It's 19 for Snipe Drone.
1 more kill to go here.
Gotta be Snipe Drone, right? Gotta
Gonna
be
fly
Snipe
in.
Drone.
Let's see if they can pick it up. Not just yet. Last player alive was Legend, now 49-33.
Well, that was a momentary 3 dead there for Acend. Legend gonna be challenging Hysteria, but Respectful is there to get that 50th kill, and most importantly here, tie up this series at 1-1 and just seize that momentum back onto their side and stop that adrenaline that was flowing through Team WaR just a few moments ago.
It certainly was, and Team WaR looked like a force to be reckoned with out of that game number 1. If they brought that same speed and intensity to game number 2, it could have spelled disaster for Acend, but Acend comes back in a huge way. Keep in mind at one point that game was 23-10 in favor of Acend after only being a 10-7 game. That is an unbelievable run. That is a 13-3 run to get a lead like that. Absolutely enormous game from them. They'll close it out 50-33, and Snipe Drone will end the game 19-8.
Yeah, that was more like the Snipe Drone we expect to see, right? We saw a couple of wavy shots from him in that game number 1, but now he is locked back in. That BR was looking crispy, the headshots were being popped, and 19-8, like you say, in a game where you really need one of your best players to step up. That's exactly what Acend got. Looking across the board though, everyone doing their job there on Acend. You're looking at Legend, Seeker, Respectful, all of them doing the work that was required. Seeker usually that instigator, doing his job to just stay around that kind of 0 mark. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, let's take a look at damage as well here as we'll tab over, and some good damage, unsurprisingly, from Snipe Drone. 4,400 from him, and also we got to say during the listening, we got a great preview of just how they sound. I mean, this Acend team sounds really good, really confident, really dialed in on the kills that they needed to focus on during that game, and it paid off for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from game 2.
I mean, it was a fast start for both teams, and I like the idea from Team WaR to try and keep putting their opponents under pressure, especially after how that game 1 ended, right? But Acend, it almost played into their hands a little bit. Acend were playing some great angles, making sure they were in position to help each other, and almost baited that aggression into 2v1s a lot of the time.
I think so too, and they really did well to close down all the big threats. You saw how they really isolated the Rocket players whenever a player was a threat with either the Stalker or the Rockets there, and in the end, it's a comfortable win for Acend off of big numbers once again out of Snipe Drone. 19-8 to close out the game, and really, as you heard during the listening, a team effort for the side of Acend.
Well, now we go to King of the Hill live fire, and we mentioned in the United Grunt Classic that Acend did not drop a King of the Hill game type across the entire tournament. So for Team WaR, they're going to have to work extremely hard here. Plus, I think it was the first game that we had at the event. Acend versus Optic Gaming, almost famously at this point, the game ended on that statue hill. That's how close it was.
Exactly. Whenever we see Acend play King of the Hill, it feels like they've got a few tricks up their sleeve. You have to think that might be the case here, and we talked about momentum earlier. Maybe Acend starting to pick up on some of that momentum themselves.
Yeah, 100%, and that first hill is always an interesting thing as well, because all of a sudden if you get that first one on the board, you know you can play a little bit looser.
Yeah.
You can see if you can take a few 1v1s and really put the pressure on your opponents. If you lose it, especially with the series as well balanced as it is at the moment, this is where the doubts start to come in, right? That's when you start thinking maybe elimination, maybe missing out on Worlds, all these things, even though it's so early in this series still in game number 3 with nothing decided. Yeah. It's crazy how those kind of psychological things start playing on your mind.
It's true, it's awfully fitting. It feels like this match needs to go the distance, so it's awfully fitting that these two teams will be tied 1-1 here for a Worlds qualification match, and of course, a go big or go home elimination match as well this evening. These players are no stranger to the main stage on both sides of the stage. Most of them used to lasting until Sunday. You don't want to go home on Saturday night.
Yeah, like you say, you've got that hotel booked for the entire weekend. You don't want to be staring at the ceiling on a Sunday. You want to be here on that main stage and making sure that you're part of the story and part of the run towards what could be, you know, making history for your region or making some history just for your team, right? Yeah,
and especially when we talk about the pressure that's on this Acend roster right now, I think you really cannot overstate it. As we said, this is a team where everyone's already talking about, is this Acend going to be placing top 6, the highest in Infinite yet? Can they go higher than that? And here they are tied 1-1 in a top 12 match. I think it's a pretty different story for them because they were thinking well beyond this match when they maybe did a little bit of pre-tournament planning, right? This is not where they expected to find their speed bumps. However, right now, they need to find a way to dig deep and make sure that they secure Worlds and secure a trip to tomorrow as well.
Yeah, it's interesting for them to look at that bracket as well, because I think the way things are starting to pan out as well, they're probably obviously not looking too far ahead, and it'd be very, very silly to do so. And this is exactly the same, of course, when I talk about the bracket for Team WaR, but you look ahead in that bracket and you're thinking, winnable, winnable, winnable. You know, these are games which are going to be extremely close, but it's not like Optic sitting there or FaZe is sitting there. There's a couple of rounds for them to kind of just jump up that next placement, jump into that next tier of placements. It's a very good opportunity. Thank you very much, production, for showing us that elimination bracket, but you look at it and you think there's an opportunity here.
Oh, certainly. I mean, you take a look at exactly what they have to do. Of course, G2, a formidable opponent. They'll see if they win this series, or might be Team WaR if they get the better of Acend. But as you mentioned, there's a lot of matches before you get to the top 3 teams in the league, and they're going to be hoping to continue on in this elimination bracket. A lot of matches yet ahead, but right now they're focused on this match here and now. And after a game number 2 win, maybe ride that momentum. But on the other side, it's Team WaR, and they know exactly what they're playing for as well.
Yeah, I think everyone's back in position, as you can see, just doing the final little fist bumps, which is the official sign of we're ready to go, as we all know. Which means that game number 3 is live, everybody. It's time to get into the swing game of this best of 5. Whoever takes home, Live Fire King of the Hill will be up 2-1 in the series, and just 1 map away from going through to that next round and qualifying for the Halo World Championships.
It's the go-ahead game in the series, and it might also secure a good night or a night of pretty bad dreams here if you get eliminated from the tournament in this series. Let's see what they can do here. King of the Hill, of course, first to capture 4 hills, will take the game. It's Acend versus Team WaR for the go-ahead game in the series. Starting things off here with Snipedrone, the man of the match last game.
Man who just dropped 19, the man who just carried his team on his back and said, we're going a little bit further here, boys. This series ain't done yet. We want to go to Worlds. Snipedrone gets his first kill of the game as Acend get the better once more of this opening strategy.
Snipedrone very wise to not challenge that, as there was a grenade waiting outside of the doorway, but he pays for it with his life as Team WaR was ready to close down. Bottom middle, 2 dead at the moment.
Spectral versus Onboard. We're going to try to keep challenging, trying to keep the pressure on because that overshield is up. However, Legend should be there to scoop it up. And even though there's a little bit early time on the board here for Team WaR, I think that Acend let them have that just so they could secure that power up. And now they can make their play based off this.
Certainly prioritizing the overshield there. It's also going to be Legend with the sniper rifle as well. We know what this man can do with this weapon. Let's see if he can pop off.
Onboard gets taken down here by Legend, looking for more, but can't quite find those targets. Hysteria's going to be in front of him, a little quick scope.
Oh boy, wow.
And now he says nope to Hysteria, puts him on his back. Rami, a little haircut once more, but still alive on the map. But Acend now going into a slender lead.
Very good points on the board, and this is what they want to do, right? Just create the space, let Legend be an absolute maniac with the sniper rifle and the overshield that gives him the ability to just fly across the map, watch the angles. And now hitting a little bit of bodies as well. As you mentioned, they will now go into the lead.
And that's the thing about body shots, right, on King of the Hill. One body shot completely slowed down a push. However, Team WaR have got no thoughts of slowing down here. They break through the Acend setup. 3 players fall. Seeker managed to get 1 as he was challenged up on that top tower. But now Rami has the snipe. And most importantly, Team WaR are just creeping closer and closer to getting that first kill on the board.
Yeah, it takes him an extra second to start scoring. However, Rami still with the sniper rifle. 2 shots left, making only 1 left. And he will actually spend that shot to make sure it can't be used against him.
Drone has to get inside of this hill. He manages to do so for just a second, but it's Team WaR who answer back and get that first point on the board. It's 1-0 for them, and they snag that overshield too.
That is salt in the wounds there to pick up that overshield after capping the point. Acend needs to find a way to put up some resistance here on hill number 2.
Respectful manages to get 1, but there's Envoy with the OS, full of confidence. Repulses up to top tower as well. He tries to find some more targets. Snipe Drone did the cheeky little jump up there, and Seeker's there to help his buddy out. 2 dead here for Team WaR. Rami's still being in use at top tower though for Acend.
Big 2v2 moment here. Kills will be traded out, so it's just Seeker here on C plat, trying to see where the pressure's gonna come in from.
Looks like Acend have got the setup now. Hysteria's gonna get closed down on the cuts. You can see the Snipe Drone and Respectful both flooded. Now they have all of those spawns coming in simultaneously. Nice idea to spike things out. However, Seeker's seen that play before now. Slides behind these double boxes on the C plat. Make sure that he stays alive while his teammates give him that cover fire.
If you didn't catch Seeker at the European Regionals or any time this season, this man is so mechanically gifted. You can tell by the little movements, the way he's playing this, and his team is operating in a perfect way around him. They're about 80% of the way to close out hill number 2, but I think we just saw Team WaR escape with a sniper rifle. Yes, it's in the hand of Tony 2 turn. He might turn up right about now.
It is soon because Acend is very, very close to tying this up. There's Legend again with a big double. Envoy finds himself as last alive. Envoy finds himself as the last spawner as he's taken down all of Team WaR. Seeing Black right now in that death screen. All 4 fall. And that should be the first point on the board here for Acend. We should be tied up at 1-1.
That will be the point. Like we said, great composure, great hill management, map management coming in from Acend there to get that point with ease. They will tie the game 1-1.
You can really feel the trepidation and the nerves in these teams now and these players. Every round that goes past, just that intensity level gets lifted up even more. And there is Tony 2 turning on Snipe Drone.
It's Tony now. Still put on a show with the snipe if he can. Watching back tower, 2 dead here. Good points on the board for them. After the game being tied up 1-1. Still good presence, and finally it's a late overshield pop. Great timing coming in from Envoy.
So interesting this series, isn't it, right? Team WaR dominate that game number 1. Looks like maybe this is their series to take. Acend dominate game number 2. When you're thinking maybe it was just a blip, and now you're just seeing both teams going back and forth, blows being exchanged between Europe and North America. And at the moment, it's looking like a complete lockdown of this house hill. Team WaR should go up 2-1. It looks like Acend have given this one up.
Just like you said, blows being exchanged back and forth with very dominant hill controls on those last 2 hills. Team WaR now will take the lead 2-1, 3:50 left on the overall game clock.
Love this play coming in from Team WaR as well. Flooding across top middle to make sure they clear out this tower. If you hold down this tower and that A platform while this hill is available on the map, then you're going to put yourself in great position to give that hill player cover fire, to make sure that all of those players from Acend, are going to be spawning in the back garage or towards green, essentially as far away from that hill as you can.
And now with a 2-1 lead here and about 25% of the way here on the second hill. Let's get into a listen in here with Team WaR.
Yeah, back in. And hills half, point cuts. 2-8. Yep. Hey, one free tower. If we push this. Nice one. One more should be there. Maybe around. Yeah. Might be.
Yeah, hit. It's a screens. Back in, one hit.
One hit, like dummy. Yeah, I'm going cuts, guys.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, one. Up to just one tower. Do the Huey wave down top mid.
Keyword.
One hit, nice. One more tower.
I'll play heal, Jacob, I'll play heal.
Alright. I don't need him.
That's fine.
Bomb tower.
Do me.
I got it, one melee.
I'm ran. Just watch somebody there.
What? They're
Bottom mid, one hit. Two bottom mid. Snipe drone is one hit.
Top mid and screens.
Hey,
One's one hit.
nice, good shit, Jacob.
Take a sweep.
Nice, that's one.
Rat tunnel to key door. Obi.
I'm trying to watch it.
Use key door, probably baiting it. Someone, one of you charge at it.
One.
One of you charge Obi.
I have it.
Fucking pop that shit, it's in there.
Yeah,
They're at
sitting
tower,
more,
I'm
sitting
flanking it. They're at tower, I am flanking it.
I'm shooting tower.
Well, back into the game, and it looks like Team WaR are going to go up 3-1 in just a few moments' time, because that overshield secured for them, that is going to turn into a point, and Tony still has some OS to work with.
Really great in-game call there as well. You heard them when there was a player there, key door pressure, also tower pressure, saying one of you fly at it, just make sure we get presence on it. It pays off in the end, gives them a big lead here. 3 minutes on the clock, 3-1 lead.
Problem here for Acend as well as they're being outslayed. You're looking across the stats, and Envor, 17 kills for him and the 9 deaths. 41 to 35 in overall kills between the two teams. That is why you're seeing this difference.
Absolutely huge numbers there. At this point in the game, as another kill comes in here for Respectful, let's see what he might be able to do, and also tags up Rami on the sandbags. That will lead to 3 dead for Team WaR. An opportunity, a window for Acend.
The pace that this game is being played at, there's still plenty of time on that game clock as well. Team WaR just need one more hill. Respectful's trying to lock things down on this tower, but getting pressurized now by Hysteria. Decides to just play his line. Tony 2 turns, not gonna let him live for too long though. And now you've got Envor inside of the hill. You've got the sniper rifle turning back over into the hands of Team WaR. They might be able to lock this down.
2v2 here at the moment. Tony, of course, with the snipe. Envor in the hill here. That first shot's gonna connect. Tony just walks right up to the middle. He's not afraid to hit those shots from the hill directly. Good presence there. That's going to net them even more time, but tied up essentially on this top mid hill.
Tied up on this hill, but these next kills could decide where this hill goes. And with Respectful picking up a double kill, they're inside of this hill. Snipe Drone is challenging on that OS as well. He knows that coming up. That's coming up. Acend not giving up on this yet. They're inside of that hill. The question is, do they turn their attention here, Team WaR, to the overshield? Do they turn it to the hill with the overshield? They get the Ovi, but they lose the point. We are back to that first hill once more, but Tony from Team WaR, he's got the OS.
Wow, absolute chaos on that overshield. Somehow Tony, as the last player alive, stays alive, gets the damage on the player going for it, and then in the end gets the overshield. As you said though, at great cost. Now it's within 1. 2 minutes 30 left to play. Still a lot of time on the clock.
Last 2 players from Team WaR down on the dummies. However, they're going to survive because there's 2 of them and there's only 1 of Seeker. He stays alive for now. As Rami gets taken down by quite some shots coming in from Snipe Drone. That's not easy to do against a Heatwave player.
Not easy at all. Here's Hysteria right now, your team leader in the assist category as well. As Team WaR will put up about 30% of the way on that hill right now. Certainly if they get this one, you have to think that could be the game. Acend needs to answer back in the last 2 minutes.
So much to manage here for both teams though. They know this could be the last hill, it could be the tying hill, it could be the game-winning hill. But you've got the sniper rifle coming up in a few moments' time. You're gonna have an overshield that becomes available in the next few moments as well. Really difficult for all players to focus on what they need to. Clear calls in this situation are gonna be vital.
Return to sender there. Attempt from Envor is well executed, but Sniper Drone is up to the task. He will win that battle from the nest boxes and he'll stay alive. His area knows that pressure is coming in from multiple angles. 2 of his teammates have fallen. He will fall as well. A little bit of a spawn rotation coming in. That's going to lead to more time for Acend.
Finally, Acend managed to clear out the back of green. You can see how difficult it is sometimes to get a player out of there. There's so many little nooks and crannies that you can hide in, that you can rotate, slide off, and then Snipe Drone spiking things out. Rami, there's one for you as well.
I think that one went all the way into Halo 6. As it's going to go flying across the map. However, if he hits this quick jump, might be able to catch off top tower off guard.
Snipe Drone is so consistent at that jump. It's absolutely ridiculous. And what it means is he can catch people off guard. He could also get some great shots onto Envor. He can win the melee battle. If your name's Envor, it's not going to be the hill going into the favor here of Team WaR, as Acend have tied this one up. Ovi in the hands of Hysteria though, but it gets shredded by those spike grenades.
Like I said, not easy to clear out back green, but when you do it, it pays off huge dividends. As Acend is back in this game, tie game, still 2 minutes left on the clock because of so much uncontested time in the favor of Acend. Everything to play for here. Tied 3-3.
And you're wondering why all of a sudden Acend are getting back into this. The difference in slaves between the 2 teams is just 2 kills now. The last few minutes have been dominated in the slay category by Acend. It's 3-3 now, a slight advantage on this hill for Team WaR.
Just like you said now, these teams only about 1 kill separating these two. 62 slays for the side of Team WaR. Now make it tied up here. And everything is changing here in the late game. 1:40 left on the clock. Next hill wins.
Problem here for Acend is they just cannot flush these final players out from Team WaR. They're getting 1, they're getting 2, but they're getting traded. And that means the spawns are going to be close to where these last players are alive for Team WaR. And that means they're going to be around where that hill is. And at the moment, it might be 1 more push. The situation for Acend, they need to be patient. But when the pressure is on in these situations, patience is a virtue.
2v2, Sika being brave here, pushing on C-boxes. It's a big push from Sika from the nest, but he has to drop down. 3 dead for Team WaR here. Legend steps in.
Legend steps in, but they haven't got any mistakes left here, Acend. They need to hold the line. They need to get the kills. And the problem is they've got that Ovi and that sniper coming up in 25 seconds as well. Sika picks up one. Legend's turning his attention towards the Ovi, but you can see, where do I play? What is the priority here?
Legend gonna go for a sandbag flank here. Take a look at this angle. He's gonna go in for top mid and also scoreboard.
Love this. It's brave. Going for that play. Envoy, 1v1 bottom middle. Legend, can you win it? Yes, you can. Rami trades it out, though.
2v2 here on the map. Take a look at the overshield spawning right now. Everything to play for. The overshield will decide the game.
Rami somehow gets a double kill, and that means the Team WaR get the OS. Tony's running into these players. He's getting naded out. Respectful's going to challenge, but Tony wins the fight. And Team WaR are inside of that hill.
Snipe drone, last player alive. He goes down to 4 dead for Acend. This should be it.
This is going to be it, and Team WaR. They listen to that old Halo adage. The power-ups win you games. They get that overshield. They make the play. Pain on the face of Legends. A little shake of the head. They know they've got work to do here if they want to go to Worlds, but Team WaR 1 game away.
A little bit of a grab of the brow there for Legend, knowing that if the last few seconds of that game went differently, it would be a different result on the board. Beautiful late game coordination and execution from Team WaR in the final moments around the final overshield. Look at Envoy, 25 and 17.
25 and 17 from Envoy. Kind of announced himself to all of us, right, at the NA regional over in Anaheim, and he was a standout player at that time on Fnatic, had a couple of pop-off series where he really did impress a lot of players and a lot of fans back home. Now he's doing it on the main stage once again. Quick look at the damage. Legend, you can see maybe while he was a curl of the brow, so to speak.
Exactly, just pinching the top of the bridge of the nose at the end, and that stat tells you everything you need to know. He's dealing 7,400 damage across the map, and the team cannot close it out. But how often do we say it? Halo Infinite so often comes down to those final moments. Single plays can win you games. Let's take a look at the highlights from that fantastic game number 3.
It's so crazy, isn't it? How the entire game unfolds in front of us, and it comes down to just one fight.
That's it.
It was won by Team WaR in these final moments. And the overshield control, you have to say the majority of the time always went to Team WaR. This is the moment, though. Look how close it was.
You're seeing it time and time again, the overshield management from Team WaR. In the end, they came away with several of those overshields in the end and won them the game.
Tony makes that play towards back tower. Respectful doesn't get the trade. Tony wins the fight, and then you just see all of Team WaR flooding the hill. Snipe drone as last player alive. There's not much you can do in that situation. They lock it down. If Tony tries to make that play without OS, he doesn't even make it up the round.
The Chiefs are in the house. These boys are hype.
My favorite band. Let's take a look at the elimination round 3 series layout then. Strongholds recharge. Next game up now. If I was to pick a game type that I would say Acend are pretty damn good at, it would be this. They kind of laid a marker down in Europe about how to play this game type. Nobody could really touch them for quite some time. But everything is different now because this is their tournament lives on the line. For Team WaR, one more game, and these 4 boys are going to Worlds.
And you know they love nothing more here, starting things off with Envoy. A pop-off came from him, and he knows they are just 1 game away from securing a spot in the Halo World Championship.
I expect to see a couple of shaky BRs in this game. The nerves may be starting to kick in a little bit for both teams. Envoy being challenged on B. Respectful make sure that it isn't an early conversion for Team WaR. It looks like Acend are going to be changing B over into their hands, but AC has gone over to Team WaR, so early points on the board for them. A little bit of an unconventional hold, but it looks like Legend already trying to make a play, but Hysteria sniffs him out.
Now we'll also see what is Acend made of. Backs against the wall for this team. They're the undisputed kings of Europe, as they will now find themselves against a triple cap early on in the game. What can they do here it would be a huge disappointment for them to go home this evening.
Legend doesn't know that Tony's there. Surprise! Comes around that corner, cleans up the kill. While all this is going on though, the bleeding has been stemmed ever so slightly. They've managed to convert C back into their hands. And like I mentioned, history, records on certain maps. At this point, with this much pressure on, it really doesn't matter. It's all about who is playing in the moment.
One dead for each side at the moment. Rami tries to zip out. He's not able to, and maybe Acend going to be holding AC in just a moment. A snipe drone will pop up, so the first points will go on the board for Acend, and they don't let that triple tap get too out of hand.
Certainly don't, and snipe drone snaps onto a head as well to give them a 4 versus 2 advantage on the map momentarily. Tony 2 turns, going to be Tony death screen for just a few seconds as well. Legend a little bit quiet at the start of this one though, just looking across the statistics, yet to put his first kill on the board.
Still a man advantage here as Tony will still be in the respawn screen. Let's see if they can make this push out. Just going to hold. Onboard taking early damage as well, so that's going to let Acend hold for even longer.
I love how Acend are playing this as well. You can see they're about to go into a lead. It'll just about tie this game up. They're waiting for the mistakes to come in. Envor taken down to no shields, but Rami on the other side of the map has picked up a double, and just in time for that camouflage as well. Rami with the double, Rami with the camo. This is a way for Team WaR to turn one of these strongholds back in their favor.
Team WaR now, camo in the hands of Rami. What can they do? Let's get to an Astro list then here in this game number 4 with Team WaR.
I'm about to making sure you can't get up. Top you. Dead. Yep. I'm about to cross. I'm about to cross. I'm about to cross. Top you. Top you. Nice.
Alright, see.
I'm so much to cross. I'm so much to cross.
They already got C, just fucking hold it.
Yeah. Small pipes, guys.
Someone needs to watch camo jump. Someone needs to like make their watch camo jump. Alright.
Are you long?
Yeah, long.
Get my map. They might push up, please.
Long hold weak. One's bottom mid, gonna go camo jump. They're pushing 100%. Gonna be camo jump.
Camo jump.
Catwalk now. Top cat.
Bottom right, one shot. Absolutely one right. On the boxes. Nice.
We never kill sniper.
Mega place. Oh my god! Mega place.
Sniper.
You may need to go to red, Rami. One shot on me. One shot A. Bottom A, one hit.
Where?
Elevator, one hit. Bottom hiding.
Well, the intensity is still there from Team WaR, and it's turned into a lead. However, Acend making their play onto B. They get the conversion. BC in the hands of Acend. They're scoring for now, but Rami still has his shock rifle.
Good shots from Rami. Let's see if he can convert. Killing spree for Rami as well. And Acend has done well to make sure this game has not gotten out of hand. However, Team WaR still with a sizable lead.
Rami backing up to keep control of the power weapon.
Stronghold.
Deciding to give up that position of A. Letting Acend score. However, Legend in a 2v1 here. He can't get anything done. Snipe Drone's trying to move in to clean up the damage, but Hysteria is there. Snipe Drone wins the 1v1, but Rami gets the conversion and the cleanup. And even after the hard work of Acend, they fall 3 dead. And once again, Rami has the camo. It's Cammy.
How about that? Rami scoops the camo before the observer can even see it. It gets absolutely right in. He's going to grab that with the grapple. It's a nice play. They will continue scoring and now starting to really pull away in this game. As a reminder, they win this, they qualify for Worlds. Another kill with Rami. Gosh, looking good here.
Rami's playing this so smart as well, just playing his life. Knowing the shock rifle's the difference maker, right? Holding a 2-cap setup when you've got shock and you've got camo, so much more easier to do than if you don't. So even though you can see Acend making a flood play onto A, Rami might be in a position to cause some problems still.
Picks up another one, almost does it. Finally, he'll be taken down. 2 dead for Team WaR. Maybe an opening for Acend, but a team that has otherwise kept this game close is watching the game slip away.
Big win from Seeker though. He gets the reset onto A, and now they focus their attentions back to B. Acend. Envor trying to force some shots into those players on batteries from the long haul, but it's not going to happen for now. Tony 2 turns making a move though. He jumps into the needles, he causes the distraction, but Legend is there. Beatdown comes in onto Rami. Seeker can't get the kill, but the damage is done. That's going to stop Rami making that play.
Yeah, I really can't overstate how big that kill was from Seeker on top A, right? Just keeping this team in the game, and Rami just flies right in.
Rami just keeps going.
Once again, doesn't stop. He's 12-2 in this game right now. He knows what he's playing for.
135 to 71. At the moment, Team WaR have just had a complete chokehold on Acend for the majority of this game. They've really struggled to get out of that C cap, and even when they've got a 2-cap Acend, the first kill always seems to go to Team WaR.
Look at the stats on the rest of the board, and Rami is 13-3 by a huge margin. Most kills in the game and least deaths. He is commanding this game. as Team WaR will take a 162-71 lead here.
One thing Acend need to do is get a little hold of that camouflage. It's 2 in a row that they've lost. And now Hysteria with the Hysteria nades. We've been watching it for quite a few years, and they still hit just as hard.
He is looking too good right now. Also going to try to make this camo play if he can. Make sure to actually grab it first. He gets the help. And also another kill, the assist. 3 dead yet again. Now the damage on Legend. Beautiful stuff here from Hysteria and Team WaR as they cross the 190 mark.
It's been a story of power-ups in this series for both teams. Team WaR have been winning them. That's why they're in this lead. And this is starting to get a little bit of a scary lead for Acend. This is becoming almost an insurmountable lead. Hysteria, peekaboo! Picks up the back smack onto Legend and plays his life perfectly.
Look at this, gonna do a little bit of damage. Somehow stays alive throughout that as well. Still 2 dead for Acend. Hysteria is running laps around elevator here.
Seeker's gonna be inside of A, gets the kill, the help comes in, 3 dead for Team WaR. If you are Acend, you have to step it up right here, right now. But inside of B, a big 1v1 being won by Tony 2turn. He gets the conversion of B. It looks like C is the priority now for Acend.
Let's see if they can get it. No, it gets reset for Team WaR. It's 209-71. Their tournament hopes, their world championship hopes are on the line here. They need to dig deep, and they need to do it now.
Acend feeling the pressure. Team WaR feeling another chance to send Europe back home. And with Envor and Tony picking up 2, Seeker's finding himself on an island. He's gonna fight for his life. Hysteria's gonna reach out, and Hysteria wins yet another fight.
That was 3 dead again for the side of Acend, but 4 dead right away on the side of Team WaR. So a little bit of a map reset at the moment. However, no room for error for the side of Acend. They're down 213-91.
They get that first pick in the team fight though. Even though they have AC control, it hasn't been something they've been able to hold very convincingly at all throughout this game. All 4 players trapped inside of the pipes here for Team WaR. Acend should have good vision on these spawners, should be able to get the first shot, but Team WaR just say, I don't care, we're gonna run at you. We're gonna make you work for this.
I mean, Rami's 16-8, he don't care. He's flying right in, he picks up the kill. And this Team WaR team is just on the same page. They're firing on all cylinders. That's a great push out of pipes. It's textbook. They pick up the kills, 3 dead, and Rami's 19-8. They will continue scoring at the 220 mark.
Keep your passport ready, Rami, because you might be going to Seattle, my friend. It might be time to jump on another plane pretty soon, taking your team forward. 19-8. And 228 make that 230 points on the board. Team WaR are closing in on the Halo World Championship.
And I tell you what, the only thing that Acend might need their passports for is the trip home. As right now, it looks like they might be eliminated here and now.
Big play on B though. This might be a desperation play. Look at B and A being flipped over. Rami looking for more kills, looking to stop. Ways a final rally here from Acend. They had a momentary triple cap, but it's A and B that Acend will have to sell for.
235-124. It would need to be the perfect comeback from Acend as Team WaR is looking to pick up these final kills. They won't be traded out though, so 2 dead for Team WaR. Not over just yet.
Here comes Tony though, once again just cleaning up the damage. Hysteria's there to help him out. Seeker and Legend, the 2 Frenchmen challenging. But Tony's just gonna sit inside of this hill, cause a distraction. But now Acend finally starting to find the pieces coming together. The kills are starting, the damage is done, but they're getting finished now.
Finally, but is it too little too late? 15 points to go before Team WaR sends them home and crushes their World Championship qualification dreams as well. Acend still holding AB.
Holding AB, and it looks like Team WaR is setting up for that camouflage. Seeker got the burn on it last time, but before that, Rami has taken over the game with that power-up. In the previous game, it was Tony who took over the game with that power-up, the OS. Now Seeker's under pressure himself. He tries to survive. He just about manages to. He's trying to get out of dodge, but Hysteria, with that heat-seeking nade again, means that B is the play for Team WaR. They're inside of B, and they flip it in their favor.
It's a long-distance Hail Mary grenade as well. Envor versus Respectful, 1v1 for just a moment.
But they need to get inside of this hill. Respectful challenging. Envor puts him on his back. The camo's up. Seeker needs to get inside of B. 247, 248. Team WaR surely going to Worlds. The underdogs, the underappreciated lineup, remind us all of how good they are. Team WaR are going to the Halo World Championship.
And what a way to do it. Not the team that we expected to see at this stage in elimination round 3. Upset after upset, going up against the best team in Europe, the kings of the continent. And they send them home tonight and crush their World Championship qualification dreams on day 2.
Was there too much pressure on the shoulders of Acend coming into this tournament? Was there too much expectation? Did that get to them in those big moments? Because to me, I look at that Acend lineup and I think that's not the Acend I've been watching for 8 months, but you cannot understate how damn good Team WaR just played in that series. They took it to them and they sent them home.
I mean, fantastic performances. We've seen players on this team pop off at different times throughout their Halo careers, but feels like they were truly a well-oiled machine in that game. Everyone on the same page, great damage, great coordination, and during the listen-ins, great communication as well. They will secure their spot in the Halo World Championships in Seattle.
I mean, what an achievement. What an achievement for that lineup. We'll take a look at the stats, but stats kind of secondary to the overriding story here, right? 250 to 171. But Rami, what a performance in a game number 4, and it sounds like there's some Rami fans here in Orlando as well. Why would you be a Rami fan?
How can you not be a Rami fan after what you saw in that last series? I mean, to be completely honest, I think he's even earned a few fans during that series as well.
Oh, 100%, and I'm just gonna check behind me because, yeah, I was right. Rami's on the stage, everybody. We're gonna go to Blaze with an interview with all of Team WaR. What a performance. Congratulations, gentlemen. The Halo World Championships is calling.